Okay, so let's look at Google Map integration. So the first thing we'll do is we'll download the source code. Just takes a little minute. And then we'll extract that onto the disk, and we should be able to then integrate into Google Maps. Okay, so let's extract it. Open up Visual Studio in this case, as the program's written in .NET, which makes a convenient way to be able to integrate with Google Maps. And again, it just takes a little minute to load up. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to select the Network tab and then Location. From there, we'll add in the GetMap. So if we look at what is actually happening in GetMap, it basically takes an IP address. It gets the domain name or the IP address from this text box here. It then does a lookup on the domain name if it's a domain name and returns back an IP address. Then we return that into one of our boxes. After that, we use a service which will do a lookup on the IP address to find the location that it's been registered, and this will return back a string here. We then pick off the longitude and the latitude to give us the longitude and latitude values when we parse the XML, which is contained in the return there. The next part is the Google Maps API keys. And then what we do is we build up the URL that we send to Google Maps, and that includes the size of the map, the marker that we have, and any labels. And we can also have a zoom value. So the ampersand splits the parameters that we are passing. So in this case, the zoom is passed through the tracker 3 component value. And then here we define the center of the map with the longitude and the latitude. We can also define the map type. And then we basically just pass this into our URL, which is in the middle of the screen. Okay, so if we actually have a look at what we have here, just open up a client. Okay, so select location. And here we see, so the domain name is entered here, and then there is an IP lookup to give us this IP address. When we do a find, it will call the GetMap, find out the longitude and latitude, and then use that to plot the Google map here. Okay, so we'll just add our GetMap method. So it looks like that already exists, so we'll just try and find out where it is as a method. And we should be able to find it here. So we'll just replace that with the wrong one. And there we go. So now let's run this and let's see if it works. Okay, so we'll select location. We only have one option just now, but we'll try and find Google. And there we go. So it's located Google for us and near Palo Alto. And we can see here it's put our little marker in. So for the next part, we can add more options into our combo box. And here it is. Right, so what we'll do is we'll add some more domains into our combo box. And we'll just check to see the event that happens. And it's the selected index event. So what should hopefully happen is it'll take the value from the combo box and put it into the text box and then call up GetMap again. And that's what it does. It takes a selected item when we change the combo box, gives it to the text box, and then shows the GetMap. So let's try that again. And hopefully this time we'll be able to select from a number of domains. So as before, it will do a domain lookup for the IP address, We then ask a service to resolve that IP address to a longitude and latitude, which we parse, and then we send that to the Google map. And there we go. We've found the location of our site. For the next part, what we'll do is that we'll add an option to actually view the site. So on this button here, we just click there, takes what's in the text box and then calls up into an Explorer as a process. And we may as well just add the buttons. So now we'll view Google Map in different options, such as with the road map. Okay, so we'll just select our radio button and we'll just add that into there. So if we have a look at GetMap, it will actually show us how that works. So basically it looks at each of the radio buttons, and if they're set, then it sets the map type parameter for Google Maps to whatever type that we actually want. So in this case, either road map or satellite. We'll add some more of these types here later. Okay, so let's live location again. So the default is a road map. We'll do a find. And then we'll change it to satellite. Okay, so this is the default road map. Change it to satellite, and we can see a satellite view, and so on. So in the final part of this, we'll have a look at the slider zoom. Okay, so if we go back to our design, and here's a useful little control, which is a slider which will allow us to move in and out of the map by varying the zoom parameter. Okay, so we can set the minimum and the maximum. So in this case, the minimum is set to 1, the maximum to 16. So that will give us our zoom levels. The current value is 8, which puts it right around the middle. And then we can go and change the value changed event. So when this is called whenever the value in the scroller actually changes. So let's see if we can find out what that's doing. So it calls up GetMap, and the place that that happens needs to be added. And here is where the value is added. So there's a zoom parameter. When we call the Google Maps API, it will take this value here. So whatever the value of the slider is, then it will use that for the zoom. So let's give it a try, just to see if it's working. Let's do a lookup. And then the zoom allows us to zoom in and out. And we can go through different levels of magnification.